So the next one is the design process. Now, how exactly are we going to design a mechatronics system? So before we understand the design process of the mechatronic system, we should understand what is the traditional design process. What is the steps in the traditional design process? Identifying the requirement of the part. Yeah. So now there are two ways in which you are going to identify the requirement. One is the customer or some person is going to say that I want a particular product which is going to do this kind of work. That is the requirement of a customer. He will go to a design company and they will start doing the design according to the customer's specifications. Alternately, the company itself will see that, okay, so many people are doing this kind of work. We can create a product and we can sell it to the people and they are going to buy it from us. So that is also possible. So in that case, the company itself will make their own surveys and they are going to make their own study and they are going to come up with certain specifications. So what does the specification contain? So specifications are some guidelines based on which you have to make the product. So whatever the broad features are there of that particular machine that you are initially fixing, so that the design people can think about various alternatives, they can come up with multiple solutions. In any design process, you will be initially having multiple solutions. Then an iteration process will start. So you are testing some or all of these possible solutions using a particular methodology, which you will be deciding, and you will eliminate all the bad options available. You may be having one option. Then the next step is you will actually build a prototype, or you can go for the simulation and you can do the computer aided design process. You can make the simulation of it. You can see the results. You can improve upon the design. Once you are satisfied with the design, what you are going to do is you are going to build the prototype. Now, once you build the prototype, then again you are going to make one more round of testing. If you are satisfied, you are going to release the product to the market, or you are going to give it to the customer who has come for the particular requirement. So usually a design process will have several steps of iterations. Now, when we are studying this mechatronics, we are not bothered about this entire chain. We are only bothered about building of the internal parts. In the traditional approach, what happens is, first the mechanical system will be designed. So whatever the mechanisms that are required, maybe electrical, maybe it is a shaft that has to rotate, and how it has to rotate, what are the other mechanisms required. You are building only first the mechanical systems. In the next step, you are giving it to the electrical design people. They are going to design all the electrical components, electrical circuits, electronic circuits, all these things that are required. They are going to design for the mechanical system what is created. They are not seeing the entire picture. They are only saying, okay, this is the mechanical system. We have to get this kind of motion here by using electrical components. We have to collect the sensor information from this particular device. One sensor is required over here, another sensor is required in some other location. Like that, on that particular mechanical design, they are going to add the electrical features that have to be incorporated. That is what is a traditional design approach. So you are having the specifications, then you are having the mechanical design. Next, it is going to the electrical design. So when the electrical design is happening, they have to always keep in mind what is that mechanical design, and they have to work within the limitations posed by the mechanical design. So they may not be able to use a much better motor because the mechanical design has already taken place and they want a motor in a particular space. So within that space, you have to create your design within that particular size. You should be able to accommodate all the electrical components. Now, once the electrical design is completed, it is going for the embedded hardware and embedded software design. So embedded hardware and embedded software is a computational part, the sensors and other elements part, all the circuitry and microcontrollers. So all these things. So you are having a DC motor, or you may be having the AC motor. So your embedded software and embedded hardware should be in relation to the electrical design what you have done. So you may be having much better options available if you have thought out initially what kind of control is required. But since the electrical design has already taken place, the size of the motor is decided, the kind of motor is already decided. So you cannot do much. So whatever is designed or decided, for that you have to bring the best possible device and you have to attach it. And you have to write the software program so that it is working in a fashion that is expected. Next one is the control design. So you are having the sensors and other information coming. So you decide that, okay, the speed is reducing, the current has to increase, or the voltage has to fluctuate, or you have to supply more power. So like that, you are deciding what is the kind of control required. So here what is happening is, first you are doing the mechanical design, you are doing the electrical design, you are doing the embedded hardware, embedded software, you are doing the control design, and finally you are going to build the product. After that, the normal design process, you are going to test it. If you are satisfied with the test, you are going to go for the manufacturing of it in large numbers. Then after you are manufacturing over a period of time, you have to give some external support or service, because the components will be having some issues. You may have to do the support and service. Then finally, you have to continuously supply the required spare parts and other things. That is a sustaining engineering. So this is a traditional design approach, or this is a traditional cycle in which you are creating the component and then you are continuously supplying or continuously maintaining that particular component. Now, what are the limitations? So there are a lot of limitations are there. That is mainly related to the design aspect. Remaining things will be more or less the same. So whenever you are having multiple engineering disciplines which are working simultaneously on a given product, if you are doing them in a serial sequential fashion, that is one after the other, it is not possible to get much better features. For example, if you say you want to have a very good, we will say that is speed control. Now, the problem is how to do the speed control. If the electrical people, electronic people, mechanical, and all these people are sitting together and they are discussing and to get the best possible solution, then it is possible to get a better solution. Or if the mechanical person is making his own design first, then the electrical person is coming and adding the electrical components, then the embedded software will coming and doing his own thing. Finally, the controls people are coming and doing there. Then you will see how exactly it will happen. So in the traditional approach, what will happen is the mechanical person will say that, okay, I want a speed control, so I will have a gearbox. So gearbox will be having an input shaft and it will be having an output shaft. And I will be having a gear lever, so which is used to control the speed of the vehicle. So I am having 4 speeds. So that is what he will think. He will not think how exactly he can improve or how exactly he can control the speed in a much better fashion. So he will be having only 4 options of speeds. So speed number 1, speed number 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, and he will be having the 5th gear. That is a traditional approach. Then you will say that I want electronics part in it, means the mechanical engineer's thinking will be, okay, how can I move the gear lever by using some solenoids? That is what his thinking will be. So he will say that, okay, you put some 2 solenoids so that the gear changing will happen automatically. That is what will be the thinking of the purely a mechanical engineer. He will not be understanding how exactly we can improve the speed control. He will be seeing my mechanical gear system is this, and I have to improve or I have to make it automatic. So I have to make the movement of the gear lever in an automatic process. Now, once you are coming to the next one will be the embedded software and hardware design. They will see that how exactly to control the solenoids so that the movement of the levers is happening in an automatic fashion. Then finally, you are having the controls. They will check whether the movement has happened properly. If not, has not happened properly. Some signals are generated, and you are having some arrangement by which we can change over the gears, and you are going to get the different speed control. So this is a traditional sequential design approach, a design problem. But a mechatronics design will not happen like that. It will be happening in a completely different approach.